Hey, and welcome to episode 5 of Beyond the Comic Con. Thank you so much for joining me today, and a big shout out to everyone that's followed, liked, subscribed, and I've had a couple of reviews as well, so thank you so much for the 5-star reviews. Awesome, thank you very much. If you are listening for the first time, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a follow, give us a share, all of that good stuff. It would be amazing. Thank you so much. Well, you've probably seen the title line. It's episode 5, and I have Ryan Colt Levy joining me today. He is the electrifying voice of Denji, the human devil hybrid in the global phenomenon known as Chainsaw Man. Fresh off the massive critically acclaimed success of Chainsaw Man, the movie, the Reze arc, Ryan is here. He's going to be talking about the chaos, the comedy, and all of the carnage. And, you know, all of the heart that we have with Denji as well. And some other interesting things about his life, like he's an artist. We didn't know this. So, without further ado, let's get into it now. Ryan Colt is in the house. And here he is, the man of the moment, Mr. Demon Slayer. What? You're kicking off. This is like the biggest thing ever in the cinema. No, hold my beer. Here comes Chainsaw Man. Denji, Mr. Ryan Colt is in the house. How you doing, dude?
I'm lovely. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am very well. You must just be, well, ecstatic with how well this has all gone for you with the Reze arc, man.
Yeah, blown away. I mean, pun intended, I guess, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we were all very much in love with this manga and this story and this particular arc for a long time, and we were waiting with bated breath to get to actually record it or, you know, even see what it was all going to really be like. And when we did it, it was like such a blur, and I had to keep telling myself while recording, like, you know, be present, like really enjoy this because it's going to be gone like that, you know. And getting to share it with the world and seeing the reaction everywhere is so wild. You know, we knew it was special, but we didn't know how much it would connect with an audience. And it's so cool to see so many people, even outside of the normal anime, you know, viewer space. A lot of film reviewers and all kinds of people covered it and were like really kind of, you know, surprised by how special it is.
I mean, you guys were sitting on 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for a while there, and it's still, as we're recording right now, 95%.
Amazing.
Which is like, is outstanding. And to see anime
cool.
taking this lead in cinema at the moment, it's good times for all.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the biggest thing that you know, I don't come at this from like a specific like fandom kind of angle. I come at this as an actor, and I am really excited that there's so many unique stories being told in this space, and they're being told at such high quality. And I've never understood the whole competitive level of like this show versus that show or whatever it is. Because to me, if it's all succeeding, everybody is winning, you know? I think it's just a giant, like, you know, a rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. So yeah. I'm just embracing everyone's success. And I think it's just a really cool time to be doing it, you know?
I mean, yeah, it definitely feels like you know, I'm a chap of a certain age, so I remember when manga came into the UK initially. We were getting Akira and all of those things.
Yeah,
we kind of had this like burst that we got. This was like in the 90s, and all these videos they were deliberately put into like music stores, so they weren't in the general kind of video shops. They were like the rock and roll of, you know, it was like the naughty kind of animation for kids, and we were like, oh, what is this is so cool and out there. And then we had a conversation, and I don't know if you'll remember. So it was Anime Con UK, and it was probably about
it was 3 years ago.
3 years, yeah. And I was like,
in Birmingham, the one in Birmingham, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I was a manga fan, blah 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 blah. Kind of fell out of love with it. Did my own thing. Kind of looked at some anime along the way, and Chainsaw Man flicked that switch, and it
Mm,
felt like that manga evolved, that like really exciting, really out there stuff. And then that was the gateway drug to Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and all of that good
yeah, yeah.
stuff. And I
The
feel like
slippery
we're
slope.
oh, isn't it just? But I feel like we're now reliving this. I mean, people are addressing 90s again, and 90s music is back. And I feel like anime, the way it's pushing forward again, and I hope it doesn't stop. I feel like we're reliving this 90s manga resurgence that we saw back then, which is just phenomenal to me.
Yeah,
And
totally.
probably great for you because it means there's loads of parts and roles coming up and things
Oh
you
yeah,
get
all
to
kinds
do
of cool stuff.
before.
And even just seeing other people doing such cool work. It's just, it's fun to be surrounded by.
Yeah, and the fact you kind of I talked about it with Adam, and people call me Mr. Comic Con, and I was like, no, Adam, this is back at you, and you are the
Yeah.
same, Ryan. Like I feel like you're at a Comic Con every week, and today we're talking now, and we've got a limited amount of time, and you've got to run straight off, catch a plane to go
Literally to
to
go to the airport. Yeah. To go to
it.
New Orleans. Yeah.
What is it about the Comic Cons that you love the most? Because obviously you get this chance to connect with those fans.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's fine.
It's it's a tremendous privilege, in so many ways. The the fans of any of this material are so devoted and enthusiastic and kind and creative and quirky and very much, different versions of, who I was, especially as a kid, and I can see so much of myself in them or friends of mine in them or, um, and being able to be enthusiastic with them about something that I really love and they know that I care about, to the same degree that they do. So um there's a real just kindness and generosity from people's energy in a way that I never imagined nor assumed. Like I didn't think conventions were going to be a part of my life. It wasn't like part of a plan. Um, and I think, to play a character that people connect with so deeply is a really special honor. So I want to make sure that they feel seen and, uh, getting to see them in their element, whether it's in cosplay or not, whatever, just being comfortable in that space and being around other like-minded people and they bring their friends and their, people they're in relationships with or they're bringing their family. And, sometimes people will come to the table and it's like, I can't tell if it's the parents or the kids that are the fan. And sometimes they all watch it together and,
Yeah.
it's a really really cool exciting space to be in and you get to be in different cities all the time and different parts of the world and um I love traveling and exploring and meeting people and learning culture and um it's all a really exciting weird kind of traveling circus.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Um,
Yeah.
I was talking to Adam, and I've asked a couple of my guests this as well. Now, Adam had a story about boba, obviously, because the guy's addicted to boba, right? I was doing an interview once with someone on stage, and somebody had a gift for them, and it was a taxidermy rat of their character that they play. Have you received any weird kind of gifts or out there gifts from any fans that, I know the fans are so generous with like some particular pieces of artwork and bands and things like that, but has there been
Hmm.
anything that stood out that you're like, this wasn't on my card to ever
Oh,
receive?
totally. I still have it. Someone made me a Denji voodoo doll and it's very like It's very sad looking, and
Oh,
what the reason I kept it is because when they gave it to me, we talked about it, and they were like, the intention with this is that like you actually treat it well. So I was like, oh, okay, you know what, I like that. So I'm gonna keep him safe, and we'll go there.
I like that because yeah, you are an absolutely any interviews that I've read or seen for you, you are a custodian of Denji. You absolutely care about this
I hope to
character.
be.
You definitely hold him in your heart. And your career so far, I mean, it's pretty unique actually. You started in music and bands,
Hmm. Hmm.
and obviously, I mean, kind of going to Comic Cons is the new kind of touring, I guess, for voice
Yeah,
actors.
yeah, I know. I mean, I think about it very much like that. Yeah.
So how did that? What's kind of what drew you into performing and acting from being in the band Braves? So
Hmm.
anyone they need to go check you guys out on Spotify and all those good streaming places. And I feel like there is, with Chainsaw Man, we get a great song at the end of every episode.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, come on, you must know some guys now. So
Oh man, the band broke up a long time ago, but and I am much more an appreciator of all the music on that show than someone needs to contribute. I get to contribute enough. I'm lucky enough. Um, Sorry, what the question you were asking?
It
I
was
totally my
that.
brain.
That's okay. Your path is quite unique because you started
Oh,
off in
sorry.
bands and music. So
Yeah.
how did you find
Sorry.
yourself going towards what drew you into performing and storytelling and like, hey, I'm going to be an actor and then a voice actor? Because I think for most people
Well,
that's the career path, isn't it? They sort of land in voice acting and go, oh my gosh, I love this.
right. Well, for me, weirdly, music was actually my second love. Acting and filmmaking and everything was number one. From a very young age, growing up in New York, I was immediately obsessed with filmmaking and acting and writing and directing. And I would like rewrite films that I liked and bring them to class in like third grade and try and get kids to rehearse it as a play. I was a weird kid. So I started doing all my like school theater, and I was making movies with friends outside of school, and I was going to acting classes in the city on the weekends, and I was really I wanted to be like Brando, and
You're
I
cooler than
found
Brando.
music. Yeah, I found music. At like a parallel time of creating as a kid, and so I knew I had to make a decision and kind of pick one. And it felt like I was, married to this band who were my best friends. And it was, an emotional, financial, creative, uh, connection that
Yeah.
I felt I didn't feel like I could just be like, well, see you later. So
No.
um, I didn't pursue acting for a really long time, and the band moved from New York to Los Angeles in 2015, and it wasn't until we broke up in like late 2018 that I was like, well, I'm here. The band is now gone. The job I was working laid off everybody in the department, and I miss acting. Why don't I just go back to classes and start just kind of, throwing myself into it again? And, worst case scenario, I'm already broke and not working and not doing anything. So, you know, um,
Might as well be broke and enjoy yourself.
what could it hurt? Yeah, so I just started doing all the stuff. I was going back to classes. I got headshots. I was, going all over town for auditions because it was still in person at that point. And, doing extra work for like commercials or movie like background whatever anything just to be on set or get paid or learn or
Yeah.
grow. And voiceover was not uh it wasn't on my radar. Like I've grown up playing video games and watching cartoons, and it's not like I didn't know it was a thing. I just didn't It was never where I like focused the stuff that I loved about acting. Personally, I was always just a big like I love Paul Thomas Anderson and the Coen brothers, and like
Yeah.
to me there was just so much there that I was personally obsessing over. But at the same time, I grew up with Cowboy Bebop and, all of the Ghibli movies, and like I just didn't really think about it. And then weirdly through the process of pursuing just on camera, um voiceover kind of like started to find me. And then as I started to get more opportunities, I started to really enjoy it. And it was a weird mix of all the things I like about acting and all the time I've spent in recording studios as a singer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know this space. So it was weirdly kind of like tailor fit, and I didn't know it.
I mean, working in a recording studio and using all of that kind of musical prowess that you have would probably help with some of Denji's maniacal laughing and
Oh
screaming when he's
yeah.
just in
I was in a
fights and
screamo
just.
band. Yeah, man. I mean, I did it all. So I learned how to scream the wrong way so I could do it the right way.
So you can do it the right way later on.
Yeah.
Um, and and look, the Reze arc just had us all in tears,
Mm.
because it's just, you know, and what I love about Chainsaw Man is that it's so it's bonkers. It's just nuts. And
Hmm.
Denji is kind of played for as this sort of not a fool. I think that's a really harsh way of putting it. But he's,
You're not wrong.
he's sort of, he's not
People
lived.
assume he is.
Yeah, they assume he is, and he's not lived in the world. And he's kind of now living, isn't he? He's got the chainsaw powers and the
Yeah.
chainsaw devils, and he's now living his life. And he wants to touch boobs, and he wants a kiss, and he wants to go, and he wants all of these different things. How do you balance such a, because he's so emotional. Like, he is
Yeah.
emotional. It's like,
Yeah. He's very raw.
yeah, and the line is, everyone wants. You're
Yeah.
smiling already. Everybody wants Chainsaw Man's heart. The chainsaw.
Yeah.
What about Denji's heart? And that is such a sort of juxta character. 1 minute it's so emotional and so
Mm.
deep, where we're all walking out of the cinema crying. We've just, and
Mm.
my partner just doesn't get it. She's like, you're watching a cartoon, and I'm like, no, it's more than that. And
Yeah.
my kid Max, he's 16, and he walks out of the cinema in tears.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
we feel that,
That's
and
really cool. That's really cool.
it's so cool. But you look at the character of Denji, and it's just kind of this. It's so like crazy, and so he's like, yeah, he's played for fool, he played for dumb last. How do you
Yeah.
balance that? How do you go into that? Because there's an art form there, man.
Oh, well, that's very sweet. I mean, one, you have great directors, and great writing, and the story is just already that good. It's you don't have to do that much when the character's already all there. It's to me, it's more about just being genuine and open and vulnerable to what they need. Um, and just like allowing yourself to go to those places that have to, be wherever he's at mentally or emotionally or physically. And you know I, I've been that age, and I've also felt those feelings regardless of that age. And I think a lot of people, it's why you walk out of the theater crying. It's not because
Yeah.
you feel sad necessarily just for him. It's because each of those scenes that have that impact throughout that movie are reminding us of things in our own lives, good or bad,
Mm.
moments we've had or shared or lost, or you know what I mean? Like, there's so much about all of that. And I don't think that changes as you get older. I think it's that, it still happens, and it's about how you process it. But I think it's a really like therapeutic film. Um, and
I mean, does it
you
does
know,
it does it take more out of you doing a movie like this, as opposed to the TV series as such? Because the emotional weight in this movie is
well, yeah,
way
I
above
mean,
season one, as we know. So,
yeah, I would say two for two reasons, yes. I mean, one, for that, the actual content in the movie is far um heavier, you know, like for Denji specifically, you know, than what you get in the first season. Not to say that there aren't moments of that, but just the
Mm.
consistency of it, um, and the tone, but also the fact that we just recorded it very quickly. You know, I had 4 days to knock all of it out. So,
Oh
and it
my,
wasn't like 4 days spread
wow.
out. It was like 4 days like back to back. So we were just like do, you know, and that when you have to give all of that all the time can definitely burn you out, you know. But I also knew what I was getting into, and I had been waiting a long time, and I was ready to, you know, I
A
was
fan
ready to
of the
give
books.
myself, yeah, you know, and I was ready to give myself over to it. You know, I had been waiting for so long to do it, and I knew that, you know, everyone on the team, the directors and everyone were going to do their best to take care of me, and I was going to go all out no matter what because I needed to. And um, I'm really, really happy with, you know, what we got out of it. I lost my voice, but you know, it came
I
back.
bet.
It's back, you know.
Yeah, it'll always bounce back. So,
Yeah.
when you went into it, are you recording it in a linear story, or do you start?
When you so normally when we did the show, yes,
Yeah,
and I think for the most part we did with the movie, but actually we did a few bits out of order. Like my very first day, we did the the opening, like, you know, in the apartment.
yeah.
We did the very, very end, post credits with Power and eating the flowers,
Yeah.
and then the bulk of the first day was the Typhoon Devil fight. So I
Oh,
actually went in like gusto day one, and then the next few days were more or less in linear fashion doing the rest of the movie. Um, and then we finished on the beach scene. I think that was the last thing I recorded.
oh.
Yeah,
So
I know.
at that point, yeah. Now thinking about it, that beach scene, it just on
Oh,
the
dude,
on
it
the
gets me. It gets me when he calls out to her. It's still, I'm like, oh, you idiot, but I know how you feel.
I think, yeah, we've all been there. Well, we haven't had a girlfriend try and kill us, but we've all
Necessarily, yeah, 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 yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
And how was it feel? How did it feel seeing this movie for the first time, especially those fight scenes? They're so
Oh
the
man.
animation on those so kinetic, and seeing like what they did with the first season and now into the movie, they've really leaned into it, like these really subtle art changes that they flash
Yeah.
in front of you almost. And I'm sure a couple of times I saw like some covers, and the first cover, the color scheme
Oh,
splash in,
totally,
and
dude.
and
Well,
you're
the
just like,
during
oh,
the Typhoon Devil fight, yeah,
yeah,
when
with
they
Beam,
dropped
and
that, yeah.
and it's just like,
And I remember
oh,
when I
oh,
was recording,
oh.
yeah, dude. Well, I did that when we were recording it. You know, I like freaked out, and I remember texting Reagan, who voices Aki, and I was like, because he was recording like later that day or the next day or something, and I was like, dude, you are not gonna believe what they do in this thing. Like it was, you know, like
So were you like, oh, I'm not going to tell you what, but you'll see.
yeah, no, because you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to spoil the surprise. You know, we're all fans of it, so it's fun to be like, oh, you're gonna see, you know.
Oh, it's just such a good music movie with
Oh,
some
dude, the
the
music,
score. Yes.
yeah,
I'm waiting for the vinyl for the score to come out. That's
yeah,
gotta
man,
that's gotta be
yeah,
released.
yeah, dude.
Um, in regards to that, I'm going to ask you a question.
Hmm.
So, Iris out or Jane Doe?
Oh man, do I have to pick one?
Yeah, which one?
You know, it's funny. I've listened to both of them so many times, but I also have so many songs off of the actual score that I really love too.
Hmm.
Um, I think for the sake of mental health, I'll pick Iris out. You know, I
Yes,
think
it's my favorite.
there's something like, and it's also like it's a great, literally like it's a great get ready for the day song. You know, it's such a banger. So you know, I think they're both extraordinary, but Jane Doe is obviously devastating. So that's for like like it's a nice rainy day right now. I can definitely put that on after the interview and you know sit in
Just,
that for a second. Yeah.
yeah, again with Chainsaw Man, I don't know how they're doing it, but they are knocking it out of the park with scores and intros and outros. It's just.
Everybody involved is just like they all get it. It's so cool.
Mm. And did you prefer working on this kind of high stakes movie, or do you prefer working in the long format in the series kind of style? What kind of works better for you? I mean, not
Well,
to
the
say one's
process,
better than the other, but
yeah, I mean, the process outside of just like tighter time frame is exactly the same. You know, I just want to keep working on it. I don't care what form it comes in. I just love telling this story and I love getting to play Denji. And I know that Mappa is taking such great care of it. So I'm just looking forward to whatever format, you know. I don't know what comes next. I mean, I know in the manga what comes next, but you
yeah.
know, they don't tell us any kind of special thing. So I'm hopeful we'll get some kind of announcement, but um you know, I think movies, I love movies, you know, so getting to work on a movie and see it in the scale is so cool. But I also think for this story, you know, it for this arc in particular, it was like perfect. And I don't know that you need that for the rest of the story necessarily moving forward right away, you know.
Mm. Yeah, I did like the way sort of coming up to this arc, reading some of the manga. It was like, oh, how is that? Is that going to be the first half of next season, or but
Right, right.
compressing it into this movie, which I felt can potentially be broken up episodic. I felt like it might be able to be
I
broken
mean,
up,
like,
but seeing it in
I
this,
just I don't see why you would, and I don't see
no,
why, you know, uh,
but
like I could,
definitely Crunchyroll certainly has a habit of doing that, don't they? I tend to find with some things.
well, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole other thing that I don't know
Mm,
who's involved in doing any kinds of choices like that, you know, so I can't speak on that. But
yeah,
I just know that the way this story works, like, it's funny, a lot of people are usually bringing up, like, do you think they're going to do the Demon Slayer thing? And I'm like, I don't, I mean, like, one, it's a completely different story, like, in every way of execution. So, you know,
oh yeah,
I think, thus far we have seen that Mappa has been very intentional with all of the choices they've made. You know, they ended the first season very particularly at that point and dropped Reze at the, you know, the very end post credits, you know, and
yeah.
then said nothing for a while. And then, you know, so like you know, these guys are masters at what they do and
Yeah.
they are treating this like fine wine. And I don't see them taking something that has now been so coveted in this space and being like, you know what, and like turn it into a bag of potato chips now. You know, I think
They're
they're
not going to
fully
drop
gonna
the ball.
no, I think, you know, I think when this gets to come out on streaming, it's gonna be, you know, that arc, and then I think what comes next, you know, hopefully gets to be, you know, the next evolution of where the manga goes, you know, which is a
Yeah.
crazy place.
There's some nut stuff which we won't spoil, and because again we don't know where it's going to go and how they might want to put things together. But you were saying there that you know you hope that there's some announcements and stuff, and without spilling the beans on anything, whether you do know on anything, do
I
you get
can't spill. There are no beans for me to spill, you know. I
so?
have no beans.
Do you not find out prior to everyone else? Obviously.
No, I find out when you guys find out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
they
you know,
just make it. You're
when
like,
they
oh, go
made,
to
you know,
work.
when they made the announcement at you know, Jump Festa that the movie was happening, you know, I knew Jump Festa was happening because I'm online, and I'm, a nerd and I'm curious and,
You're right.
they don't need us to know anything until production needs us, right? Which is way after the fact that the thing's already been drawn, so that's
Yeah.
after they've announced it, teased it, shown off a thing, so I find out fresh when you guys find out. Whatever they announce, they could be a jump. I know they're a jump festa this year, but like they could get on stage and just be like, "Thanks for watching the movie." Like I don't know what's gonna happen, like it's so
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
just
mad.
as curious and hopeful as any of you.
Well,
I
we
mean, it
are.
doesn't it doesn't benefit, anybody for me to know that far in advance
Mm,
because I wouldn't be able to say anything. I and if I were stupid and did, I'm ruining, the
of
party
course.
for
Yeah.
for everybody. So I think there's, so much of it is just about it's not so much about keeping us in the dark as it is about having presenting the thing the way they want to when they want to.
And
And I
it's
just think that they've got a plan for all of that and we don't need to be a part of that plan until we are needed. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And it's that timing that they have, and this is when they're telling us
Yeah,
things.
whatever they're doing and clearly Mappa's working on multiple things. They've got the Jujutsu Kaisen movie coming out soon,
Yeah.
and that season's going to be coming out in
Yeah.
the early in the next year. So we'll see. I know Jump Festa is in December, we're a month away. You bet your ass I'm going to be watching that stream,
I think we're all going to
and
be watching that and keeping our fingers
in the
crossed
back
for
of your
the.
mind, in the back of your mind, just know that I'm sitting there watching it too.
Well, we're all going to be willing that news for you because we just want more. We
Oh
can't.
man, the next arc is crazy fun, so I'm really hopeful.
Yeah, it's gonna be
And the
good
team is
times.
so good, the like with this art style or whatever they do, it's crazy. I'm so excited. I'm really we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely captured people's imaginations, and I think we're going to have a lot of Chainsaw Man, which is awesome. And you've talked about this movie. It kicks the story into high gear for Denji.
Mm.
As an actor who does know the source material,
Hmm.
what was the toughest scene for you to record because you knew how like, devastating it's going to be for the audience? Was there any part that really kind of choked you up there, knowing what's going to happen?
Of course. The pool scene, number
Yeah.
one, and the beach at the end. Those two scenes were to me, like even knowing the story, I didn't know how it was going to be animated and the music and so even just recording it, I was very emotional. It was you can hear my voice break in a lot of those scenes because it's like genuinely, it feels very visceral.
So
And
that
I think
that
they're really beautiful. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. So the breaking of the voice, it's all genuine. It's not the acting part of Ryan coming through there. This is you do have this attachment to Denji that
Well,
that
I think I feel a lot for him and I'm lucky, um I'm lucky that the material is genuine.
yeah.
It's like I don't like I said before, like I don't have to do very much. Like just sitting in that music and thinking about what he's feeling and thinking about things that I've felt, it's like it can hit you pretty quickly and then you just gotta, be present.
I think that's the thing though, because so talking about Denji as a character, and I like I've got here that I mean, you've played so many different characters, but like you've been Damian Wayne, you've been Robin, yeah,
Yeah.
you've had a little go at Robin, but like, and I know,
He's a much more calculated, cold, he's a very different, he's so different on the spectrum of personality, right? Like he's
yeah,
like almost on the complete opposite end.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got my
Oh wow,
let's
yeah.
see, I don't know, he's somewhere on my arm, knocking around. I don't know, he's there somewhere. I don't know
Wild.
Robin, but
That's awesome.
like, and Damian Wayne's like one of my favorite Robins, but as an actor, I don't see the connection with you and Damian Wayne. Like you hold Denji in your heart, and that's not to say that any other characters and voices that you take on um,
Well,
are
it's
any
also,
less.
I think
But
some of it is also just a matter of like, I played Damian Wayne for, an hour in a
yeah,
recording session, and, the majority of that dialogue is fight calls, so it's like there's also a huge difference in what the context of the stuff you're doing is. It's not just about the iconography of a character. It is, I mean, some of my favorite things that I've done are, shows that some people have never seen. It doesn't matter how popular the character is. If the writing and the story and the actual character is like interesting and something to chew on, and I get to spend time with them, that's a special experience. And it doesn't always get to happen. Sometimes it's more just playtime. Sometimes it's like you're just a kid in a sandbox and you get to, turn the switch on for this personality and that energy, and you get to tap into stuff, but it's a different thing.
mm,
Um, with Denji, I've had a lot of time to sit with him, and we've had a lot of time, even just in between the movie, to sit with it all as a thing. So even just by association, there's like a lot more to it. But I think, as my career goes on and I do different things in this space and also on camera again, and I'm hoping that I will find more stuff that I get to engage with the same level of depth um and exploration and all of that, because it's really gratifying. I just love acting, and I love good
yeah.
stories, and I love good characters, and I'm really lucky that that's what this is.
Is there we all know that Chainsaw Man's a worldwide success, and that's kind of what has definitely put you on the map, and has brought a lot of attention to you. Is there a role that you would like to send people to and be like, oh, you need to check out my you've been on My Hero Academia, or
Hmm.
is there a role that you're like,
um
what, this is my little understated role that I really wish people would go and check this guy out because
there's a weird show called Love of Kill, that's like
okay.
an assassin rom-com. It's only one season. I don't know if it'll come back, but he's a real quirky character, and he was fun to play. He's got two very extreme sides, and that was fun. That was really fun. There's some stuff. John Watson and Moriarty the Patriot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things. And I'm excited about whatever comes next. I think the most exciting thing is that I have no idea what is in the future.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That and yeah, we don't want to see you typecast as Denji because you are such a versatile actor, mate.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
and we do need
Thank
to.
you.
I mean, you're a triple threat. You're a voice actor, you can act, and you're a musician. So a quadruple threat, and you're dashingly handsome. So
Well,
we need to get you on. We need to also have you on the big screen as well.
I do wish to get my ass in gear and get back on camera. And theater. I mean, I love doing all of this, and um I'm not looking at this like I've got to do this all tomorrow. This to me is a lifelong experience. It's a lifestyle, and I love making art. I love writing and painting, and I still want to make music, and there's a lot of things that I want to do creatively and with my life and my career. So I'm in no way typecasting myself even to just a Denji type, or let alone voiceover. I'm excited to just expand and create and
Great.
see what comes.
That's amazing. You talked about artwork there and
Yeah.
painting.
Hmm.
Would you have you? Is there anywhere anyone can go to see this? Would you ever?
Yeah, I actually have. I
I'd love
have.
to see an exhibition.
I have. I gotta put in the work first. That would be great. It would be super fun down the road, maybe. But I I have an Instagram art page that if people go to my regular Instagram, I have it kind of in the profile there. But last year I started putting stuff up just to kind of make it more public because I was really just doing it for me and for friends and just enjoyed the process of painting. And I don't know, it's I was encouraged enough by people to start making it more public, so I did, and it's fun. So we'll see. Right now it's just a nice release.
Oh my gosh, I totally missed that, and I know I've got you on my Instagram, so I will make sure that I check that out, and we'll make sure that
Oh,
we
no
put
worries.
that
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
show
yeah.
notes as well, because I just love it when people are creative and expressive in
Oh,
different
thank you.
ways as
I
well.
have to. I'm actually after I get home this weekend. I will have like a full month without travel, and I will be doing quite a bit of painting because I've been a little bit absent on posting on that side of things. So I'll be back at it soon.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're now talking kind of mid-November now. We're just sort of at the back end of con season because actually
Mm.
it's sort of, I feel like it's any time from May to the sort of very start of November. That whole time there, as
Oh,
a
dude, it's
convention goer.
January and it's January to November. I mean, this will be number 31 of 32 shows for me this year. So I live in
Man.
airports. Yeah,
But it just goes to show how much you enjoy connecting with the fans as well, and the
I do.
fans
I do.
really enjoy
I
seeing you.
really do.
Is there one line or quote from the entire franchise or the new movie with Chainsaw Man that's the hardest to say emotionally or technically, or your favorite line of Denji or Chainsaw Man's?
Well, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I think the line, that
Oh,
is,
that one.
I just think that's the most concise
Yeah.
um exclamation of like the whole point of everything, right? And I just think it ties it up pretty neatly in a really savage bow.
It
Um,
really did, didn't
yeah.
it? um, And I spoke to Ryan about this as well in a previous podcast, and we're talking
You
about
mean Adam?
comic. Adam, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
You're Ryan. I'm
No,
talking
no,
to
because
Ryan right
I was
now.
like, no, because we already spoke, so I know you. I was like, you probably, yeah, yeah.
This is my life. It's just yeah. Talking to Adam, and I said to Adam, if you could have any panel at Comic Con,
Hmm.
and you could have anybody on it, new, old, who would you have on your Comic Con panel, and
Like
what
if
would
I were hosting a panel,
yeah, or you could have a panel of any sorts as well.
it's an interesting question. I've never thought about that. It's so weird because for someone who is a professional performer. I like things like that are never things that I'm like, I want to go host a panel. It's like I'm such a private person that I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna go have some alone time and read a book. But if I could like set some people loose on stage and just see some chaos, I feel like it would be fun to do some kind of, I mean, we call, Sarah Wiedenheft, we call her the Gremlin Queen. She plays Power, so there you go.
Yeah.
I would love to see, I know quite a few really talented actresses uh, who self-identify as gremlins, and I think I would love to host a panel of all of them just kind of uh, talking about their chaos and their process and just unleashing all of that energy in one go. I think that would be really fun.
I mean, that's a lot of energy and a lot of chaos in one
Yeah, I
go.
think that would be a good time. Either that or like if we're just doing
Boom.
And just like that, full hard drive devil has hit me halfway through the interview. We filled up the hard drive, so we had to quickly get rid of some stuff, and we'll go back into it now. So apologies about that, but hey, we have to deal with these devils, right? Let's go back into it. Ryan, take it away.
I was gonna say I think the if I was gonna do it solo, I would just do a coffee panel, just hang out and have some coffee and share it with people.
That would be cool. Yeah, so Adam's idea was to have his Japanese counterparts on
Yes,
a
that would be
panel.
very cool.
And but then he was like, I would take it out of the Comic Con and we would go and play baseball and we would go and do stuff that I
That's a
want to
very
do.
Adam answer. That's a great idea. Yeah. He's good at that, man. See, he's like way more like, he could put on the party. I'm like I'm gonna go to my cave and hang upside down like a bat.
Yeah, I like that though. You've got darker, serious energy that you can pull in, sort of.
Yeah, real dark and serious.
Yeah. So with the success of the Reze arc
Hmm.
just being so insane, and I know we've talked about some of the manga books. Is there a Chainsaw Man story arc that you would love to see? This is not spoilers, but what would you be looking forward to most likely playing as Denji?
Oh, dude, the immediate next arc is bananas.
That's where they like going into hell and space and stuff, isn't
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
it?
yeah, it's the International Assassins arc. Yeah,
That's
all that
yeah.
stuff is yeah, I mean, from here on out, the story is just completely out of control. So, it's the first season I was trying to explain to people for the last few years, the first season is the most tame and normal and digestible that this story will ever be again. So like, take that for what you will. I'm
Yeah.
excited about all of it.
And I love how we go. It's the most normal that this could be.
Yeah, I mean, and I think as it goes on, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're reading
Yeah,
the
yeah,
books.
yeah,
It's out there.
yeah,
And I appreciate that you have got to head off to catch a flight to go
yeah.
to another con. So I've got one last question that I would like to
Mhm.
ask. Which devil would you least want to fight?
I mean, like, I feel like we're gonna exclude the primal fears and stuff like that because that's
Of
just the
course.
obvious stuff.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, but
We'll
one
take
I've
the
been
gun
sticking
devil off.
one I've been sticking with that's like, it exists in the grand scheme of the idea that how the lore works, but it's never been mentioned. But I've brought it up many a time because I think it would suck. Would be the paper cut devil.
Yeah.
Just be terrible, terrible experience, a terrible fight. Um, yeah, none of that would be fun. I feel like paper
No.
cuts hurt way more than like bigger wounds sometimes, so
Yeah.
that would be a brutal experience.
And they just go on and on and on and never end.
I just had one of those, like, I just felt it. I
Yeah,
hate that. Yeah.
I think following
Thanks for
off.
ruining my, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I think from going on that, I'd have to go with the toothache devil. That's always a.
Oh, you know what? That is so debilitating.
Yeah,
Man, you might win. That might be worse. Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're both up there, mate.
Maybe we just pit them against each other and we just go get a sandwich.
Yeah, we just have a sandwich and just
Yeah.
watch the carnage
Yeah.
unfold. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on
Of course.
and squeezing me into your like insanely busy schedule. It's
It's my pleasure. It's
awesome.
my pleasure.
And look, just seeing from where you were a couple of years ago where we first met, and I said, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
loving Chainsaw Man. I've just discovered this," and actually seeing, what was a fully fledged TV show at that point, and I don't know how it just continues to grow and get
It's
bigger.
wild. I know.
Like at that point, I was like, I'm meeting this guy from Chainsaw Man. This is like one of the biggest anime shows of the moment, and then it gets, literally hold my beer. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And I'm like I said, I'm grateful and I'm excited and yeah, man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's good to hang. And I'm sorry I couldn't hang much longer,
No,
but
it's
the
fine.
skies are calling, so I gotta go do the thing.
Well,
And
we'll get you on the show another time again, and
oh yeah,
we'll
well I
talk
hope to get
about.
back out there, man. I want to come
Yeah,
visit again. I love it over there, so
yeah, we need to
we'll
get you
see.
back over to the UK and catch you. I
I
can't
would love
believe
it.
I haven't seen you at cons. I'm at cons so much and you're at con so much, but you know, it's a big world that we live in, and we're all
This is
getting
the
there.
circus of it all. It's very strange. But you know, it's one of those things, it's like whenever you do see someone again, it's like there's
I know.
no lost time. You know, it's magic.
It is, man. So thank you so much. And yeah, let's get you back on the show
Of
and talk about
course.
some of your other amazing projects that you do as well. And
Thank you,
hopefully
brother.
we'll be talking about your live action stuff, because that's where it's going to be
Yeah, we'll
happening.
see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna work my butt off. So
Right. Thank you so much, buddy. See you soon.
appreciate
Bye.
you. Yeah, cheers.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining me, man. And yes, we will get you back on the show. Really appreciate you taking the time out to squeeze us in. Thank you so much. And yeah, we need to talk about all this other stuff that he's doing. He's such a creative. It's amazing. Well, that's it for episode 5. Thank you so much for listening. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that following stuff, all of that good stuff. Really appreciate it. And if you get the chance to leave a review, that would be amazing as well. So for now, that's Beyond the Comic Con. I'll see you soon. Bye.